Welcome back to the channel and to another NFL episode. It is time for week 2. We got another episode of Trey's Pick 6. That's where I break down my favorite 6 plays of the week. We'll talk about them and analyze each of those picks. But before we do, let's go over what we took last week and how that ended up going down. So we had a same game parlay for that Friday night matchup between the Packers and the Eagles. Took the under in that one, 49.5. Took the Packers at plus 4.5. Neither of those hit, man. That was just a bad call overall on that one, unfortunately. Then we see Jordan Love get hurt at the end of that game, man. Just bad vibes altogether for that game for myself, personally. Then we had Jamar Chase at an anytime touchdown, put a half unit on that one. And we also had Mike Gesicki of the Bengals with an anytime touchdown, put a half unit on that as well. Neither of those come through for us. And, man, it's rather unfortunate because we had Mike Gesicki at I caught it at plus 320. If you took it later, I saw it up to like plus 370 at one point, right? And he gets that catch in the back of the end zone. Man, I'm at the stadium. I'm going off. I'm high-fiving people around me, behind me, like, yeah, man, I got that at plus 320. Let's go. And then we hear that dreaded news over the announcer comes in. This play is under review. Like, man, I know how this goes. Too good to be true. And obviously, we don't cash on that one either. So an 0-3 start, right? But we do look up for the rest of the day here. We have the Steelers at plus 3.5. They went outright over the Falcons. Then we took the Broncos in the first half, plus the 3 points. And they took a lead into halftime. They end up losing that game, but they do come through for us there in the first half. Now, with us splitting 2 of those losses at half units, we just basically break even on the day. We're 2-3 pick-wise. Money-wise, we do break even. So, we want to be positive, but we definitely will take not being negative any day of the week, right? So let's have a good week 2, guys. Let's make a little bit and add it to the bankroll here. So let's get started with our first pick of the day. I'm going to be running another same game parlay, kind of similar to what we did with the Packers and the Eagles. I'm going to be looking at an alternate total for the Rams and the Cardinals. I'm going to lower that down to 43.5 and take the over. And then I'm going to be combining that with the Rams money line. We can get this at plus money right now on BetMGM. The Rams money line is sitting at plus 100. So we combine that with that over 43.5, and that puts us at plus 188. Now this line, it opened up with the Rams as short favorites. Then we've seen money coming in on the Arizona side, and the Cardinals are now laying 1.5 points. So firstly, I like looking at the over here. Like I said, the Cardinals are going to get points up, right? They're at home here against a shaky, at times, Ram defense. We just saw the Rams move the ball for just under 400 total yards of offense against the Lions and their top-tier defense. So I like their chances here against this Arizona defense, right? Look, losing Puka Nacua, that's obviously hurts, but we saw on display, yet again, the Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp show. I've definitely seen it on display, and it broke my heart, right? But this combination, man, they're deadly. And they, like I said, they showed it again. Kupp pulled in, 14 receptions for 110 yards in week 1. Matt threw for over 300 yards. They connected on a touchdown score with a little over 4 minutes to play to take a late lead. They just couldn't hold on as a unit and fell just short to Detroit in overtime. But you know what? How many people were taking the Rams in that one, man? I feel like people were all over Detroit in that game. The Rams came to play, man. They showed that, they got a good little team over there for sure. The Cardinals last year, they were second to worst for scoring defense, and they gave up 34 points in week 1 to the Bills, including 24 in the second half. So definitely, like I said, all this has me looking towards the over in this one, and I like taking a look at it with an alternate total. We can, like I said, put it at 43.5. It just gives us some more breathing room because I really like throwing it with that Rams money line and getting this at plus money. The Cardinals, they failed to close out a multi-score lead over Buffalo last week, and then they were swept by the Rams in the 2 games they played last year. I need to see more from them, from the Cardinals, right, for a full 60 minutes of play before, completely buying into this Arizona team. And Kyler Murray, he's already battling a knee injury. Now, tackle Jonah Williams is already on IR, so, I think you got Kyler back there battling a knee injury, and your starting tackle's out now. I think the Rams come in here, and I think they get the dub on the road. I don't really think it's as close as this line would suggest. And I like looking at Kyren Williams of the Rams, their starting running back, his touchdowns over half touchdown. So basically just an anytime touchdown, right? So we can get this at minus 137 on Prize Picks. If you don't have Prize Picks, we can catch this on FanDuel at minus 145. So it is juiced, but it's well worth a play in my opinion, I'm not going to shy away from a pick, guys, if it's minus 145, because profit is profit at the end of the day, right? So me personally, like, if I can catch this at minus 150 or below, I'm going to roll with it if I really like the pick. Once we start getting over that 150 mark, that's where it's like, okay, the profit isn't really worth the risk involved here, right? But yeah, I still like this at minus 137 on prize picks, like I said, or minus 145 if you do not have prize picks available where you live. If we look at him in his last 5 games, he has hit this at an 80% rate. And then if we look at it, just push it back a little bit further through his last 10, even at a 70% rate. And we can just keep going further back, man. Look at the entire year last year. He hit at a 69% rate. 9 out of the 13 games he played, he found the end zone. And so far on the year this year, first game of the year, he finds the end zone against Detroit, right? Head to head, he is, the last 2 games on Arizona, two touchdowns, 1 touchdown. He is finding the end zone. If we look at this insight from Outlier, he has exceeded he's gotten a touchdown in 5 of his last 6 games versus bottom 10 defenses, 4 touchdowns against, hitting at an 83% rate. So I gotta like this here. Looking at this one, if we just scroll down a little bit further here, we can see his targets and rush share. Where he's sitting as compared to the rest of the team. If we look at red zone targets, the amount of times that he's been targeted for passes in the red zone, he sits at third on the Rams, right? But Puka's not playing, so like besides Cooper Kupp, Tyron's the next one in line. So Matt does like to look his way in the end zone quite a bit. And then if we look at rushing attempts, he is far and away their first option when it comes to red zone rushing attempts, getting that 61% of that rushing share percentage. So I like our chances here, man, like I said. And then, we scroll over here to the right, look at Arizona and their touchdowns defensed. Man, not good at all. Like I said, second worst in the league. If we look at them against running backs for touchdowns against, also second worst in the league. So, like I said, it is a juiced play, but profit's profit, man. And this one looks pretty damn good. So I like Kyren Williams of the Rams' touchdowns over a half. All right, next game I'm looking at, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Denver Broncos in Denver. I like the Steelers on the money line in this one, guys. Look, let's break it down a little bit. Denver stayed with Seattle early in week 1. Like I said, we cashed on that first half plus the points play. But they were outscored 17-7 in the second half, and the offense struggled overall. Rookie QB Bo Nix, despite coming in with the most experience of any college quarterback, did in fact look like a rookie, right? Struggling with a 50% completion rate, under 150 yards passing, no touchdowns, 2 picks. He was playing against a tough Seattle defense, but things don't get any easier this week against Pittsburgh, man. He didn't get any help in the run game either, with Javonte Williams averaging just 2.9 yards per carry on 8 attempts. Jaleel McLaughlin averaging just 2.7 yards on 10 attempts. And like I said, now they get to go against one of the toughest defenses in the league, one who's been dominant against the run, and one that has a dominant pass rush as well. Look, TJ Watt was living in the backfield against the Falcons, man. It was like he was on the offensive side of the ball. He was back there so damn much. He just made Kirk Cousins' life miserable. And Pittsburgh's corners, man, they locked down Atlanta's weapons on the outside as well. Just a strong performance from that defense overall, giving up just 10 points to an offense that how many people were hyping up this Falcons offense coming into that game, right? So like I said, a dominant performance from that defense. And man, this is going to be the recipe for the Steelers all year. Man, you know what? As a Bengals fan, I can tell you, I've had tabs on this team really my whole life. Guys, I'll break it down for you guys a little bit, man. I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, right? I was born in Ohio, born in Dayton, Ohio. My entire mother's side of the family, they're all from Pennsylvania, man. So boy, it was rough growing up with all these Steeler fans around me. They're winning bowls, and my team is like struggling to win a playoff game. I didn't see a first playoff victory until I'm into my 30s. So yeah, man. Like I said, I feel like I know the Steeler team pretty well, man. And this is what they do. This is what they do every damn year. They have phenomenal defenses. They got a good running game. They got an offense that like complements that defense, right? Look, this is like I said, this is what they do, man. They rely on that solid run game and the leg of Chris Boswell. That's what they're going to do all season this year. They're going to play with this powerhouse defense. This is one of the best defenses I've seen for Pittsburgh in years. I feel like they don't really have any weakness. The secondary was questionable To me, coming into the season, that was like the one spot where I'm like, not too sure there. No question marks for me after week one, man. They won by 8 points in week one without scoring a single touchdown. You know what I mean? Like that's strong defense. That's a good run game. And like I said, they got a nice leg to fall back on in Chris Boswell. So yeah, man, I don't think this Denver team, although at home here at Mile High, where it's always difficult to come and play, I don't think they can hang with the Steeler defense without a run game and a rookie quarterback under center. So I'm fading Denver. I'm taking Pittsburgh on the money line. And next up, now I promise, guys, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna have a Cincinnati Bengal play every week, but man, look, I cannot look past. They got the Bengals at +6 right now against the Chiefs, man, and like I can't pass that one up, right? So I definitely am looking at this one here. I'm looking at the Bengals plus the points. They come into Arrowhead after being upset at home by the Patriots in week one. The offense was stagnant. It was stale for much of the game. And any momentum that was built on that end throughout the game was quickly diminished by untimely turnovers, just poor execution, just sloppy play overall, man. They were out of sync. They were everything that we've come to expect from the Bengals in week ones in the Zach Taylor era, unfortunately. It's so disappointing to see this year in and year out. I'm watching Jamar Chase talk after the game, and he says that, you'd think we'd have it figured out by now. Yep, you think y'all would, man. It's getting old, but fortunately, most of us in Cincinnati know it's not panic time. Not just yet. But I will say I'm more concerned this year than I have been in past years. In these past few years, since they've become actual contenders for a change. I'm not too worried about the offense or the line even. They did give up 3 sacks in New England. Don't like that. As we continue to put money into this line year in and year out. So that's not ideal. But Burrow was pressured at the third lowest rate of his career in this game, of his entire career. All right. So he just simply played a bad game. I don't put this on the offensive line. He had time in the pocket, but he was quick to roll out of the pocket, man. He had happy feet back there. He looked hesitant and timid at times as well. But this is Joe Burrow, man, and he has proven throughout his career so far that his early season struggles are not an indication of how the rest of the season is going to play out. I'm not worried about the secondary really as well. They are young and they're going to make some mistakes, but the talent is there. I'm worried about the run defense. That's where, as a Bengal fan, and anybody watching the game last week, a fan of any team, you can see it. The run defense is horrible. And I'm like really, really worried about it. You know what I mean? Like coming to the season with Super Bowl aspirations, not winning shit with a run defense like that. It was trash, just trash. And over the past few years, the Bengals' run defense, it has been shaky. That's never been a dominant part of the defense. Um, not with this era, with the Zach Taylor era, anyways. And it would almost become non-existent whenever DJ Reader got hurt and he wasn't out there on the field. And well, now he's a member of the Detroit Lions. Cincinnati really did little to replace him, man. Rookie Chris Jenkins of Michigan, he can eventually start to fill that hole, I believe. But he's injured as of now, and the Bengals are weak on the interior of that defensive line. Hendrickson and Hubbard, they got into the backfield plenty against New England. And you could see, like visibly see Trey getting frustrated with the guys inside on that line. Like him and Hubbard, they're like pushing Jacoby right towards them into the middle, right? And they just could not converge on him at any point. Jacoby's rolling out. He's finding a man down the field, man. Then the biggest issue, obviously, like I said, was the run defense. Ramondre Stevenson, he is a damn good running back. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he just ran the ball straight at us, 25 times for 120 yards and a score, averaging just under 5 yards a carry. Like he bullied them, man, just bullied them. But despite these issues on defense, I think given the Bengals 6 points against the Chiefs, it's just too many, and I'll take that any day of the week, man. And I know a lot of you think that that's crazy, probably, right? And you probably think I'm betting with my heart here, right? Instead of, using my brain and analyzing the situation here. But look, man, if we look back at each game between these two that Burrow and Mahomes have both started, and each one of those games were decided by 3 points. Every one, 3 points. So these two teams, man, they know each other's tendencies. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses, and they know them well. They've met now in the past 3 years on 5 different occasions. We're not division rivalries or anything. So we've seen each other a lot over the last few years, and like the Chiefs, man, they looked pretty good against Baltimore in Week 1 too, right? Xavier Worthy had us all asking like, how the hell did 27 other GMs allow him to fall into the Chiefs' lap, man? Like, we're just gonna keep giving Pat more weapons, right? All right. But defensively, they didn't look amazing. They gave up 452 total yards to the Ravens, over 250 through the year, and over 250 through the air, and 185 on the ground. The Bengals' run game, it never really got going in Week 1. They only ran the ball a combined 12 times between Chase Brown and the newly signed Zach Moss. But with T set to be out again with that hamstring bothering him, and just to like let's give Burrow some support, man. I would hope to see them lean on the run game more in hopes of opening up things downfield more, right? And the Chiefs struggled against the run in Week 1, so why not look to take advantage there? Get the run game established, utilize some play action, and next thing you know, Chase, Josevich, Irwin, Jasecki, all these guys all of a sudden are going to have a little more time to get some space and get downfield and make some plays happen. And look, man, in the years of past, if this was the Dalton era, I feel like we're about to get smoked. In this Burrow era, I like our chances, man. Like I said, I'm not sure that my Bengals can pull out the victory here. That's just full transparency. This Chiefs team is a damn good team. Obviously, it's defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions, looking to three-peat, and they got a great chance of it. But I definitely think this is going to be another close game, and it's going to be another classic that we add to this growing rivalry. Another chapter in the Burrow and Mahomes book, right? So I definitely like the Bengals plus the 6 points. I like the Bengals all the way. Like, I don't care if it gets bought down and, right before kickoff, it's at 3.5. If you're going to give me 3 points with the Bengals, in this Burrow-Mahomes rivalry, like I said, that 4 times that they've played against each other. Specifically, Burrow was hurt last year in that 25-17 Chiefs victory. The 4 games that Burrow and Mahomes have gone against each other, 3-point victories in each time, whether it's the Bengals or the Chiefs, right? So I gotta like it, man. The Bengals plus the 6 points. I know they're gonna bounce back. I do, man. I'd be very, very surprised if they come out flat against this rivalry. And Chase is talking all week about how they're the team to beat in the AFC. Man, I'll be very, very surprised if they come out flat. And I'll come out here for the Week 3 pick. I will gladly admit that I'm wrong if that's the case, but definitely think that Bengals bounce back here. I like this one a lot. I like taking a look at them plus the 6 points. Like I said, we can get it all the way to 3.5. I would take it there even as well. And then I'm looking at Isaiah Pacheco in this one. I'm looking at 2 props for him, actually. I like his over 67.5 yards. It's wild to me that it's that low going up against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, right? And I know he didn't have a huge game in Week 1, just 45 yards, averaging 3 yards per carry, but that was against a Baltimore defense. They kept Kansas City as a whole under 75 yards rushing for the game. This Cincinnati defense isn't going to come close to that, defending against the run. That's just not going to happen, man. Even if they play light years better than they did last week, man. Pacheco is tough. He's hard to tackle. He's quick. It's a recipe for disaster with this Bengals defensive line, man, that was plagued by missed tackles in Week 1. They were bullied by Ramondre Stevenson over and over again. So I like Pacheco with the yards here. He's played well against the Bengals over the start of his career so far as well. He's averaging just over 6 yards a carry on both regular season matchups he's played against them so far. Pulling in each pass that he's been targeted on. If he's targeted on a pass, he's not missing it so far between these two teams. He's torched Cincinnati last year for 130 yards on the ground. And I could see him having a ton of success against this run defense that has only gotten worse, in my opinion, right? It's not any better than last year. It's not even as good as last year. Unless they make tremendous strides from Week 1 to Week 2, and just had practice after practice where they've all of a sudden become an elite run defense, man. Pacheco's going to have a game against us. I feel like he's going to eat for sure. That's Kansas City's best chance of beating us, I feel like, is leaning on that run game, wearing this defense out and keeping them out on the field as much as possible. Pacheco's going to break out 6, 7, 8 yard runs multiple times throughout this game. I feel like he's going to have a good one. So I also like his anytime touchdown, man. He's found the end zone in 8 of his last 9 games. He hit pay dirt in Week 1 against the Ravens. He's scored in each regular season match against the Bengals so far in his career as well. So I think an anytime touchdown for Isaiah is a good look here as well, and maybe even a sprinkle, man. Like put a two-leg together with his yards and an anytime touchdown as well. So I might very well put a little sprinkle on that as well as running these straight bets. Guys, before we get out of here, I did want to talk about DraftKings, man. I want to make sure that if you are not on DraftKings yet, if you do not have an account with them, now is the time to sign up. Make sure you check out in the description and then in the pinned comment. I'll move it all the way up to the pinned comment. There'll be a link down there that you can click into. And man, like I said, this is the time to sign up for DraftKings, man, because if you are a new customer, you sign up, you put a $5 bet in, you're going to instantly get $250 in free bonus bets, man. What a steal, right? $250 just for a $5 bet. Gotta love it. And a lot of these sports books, man, they'll make you wait until that $5 bet or whatever the amount is initially that you have to place before you can get that bonus bet. They're gonna make you wait until that bet settles, right? Not with this, man. It's just instantly you put that $5 bet in, boom, you got $250 more to play with. And what a time to do it, man. MLB in action still, WNBA in action still, NFL, college football, plenty of ways to utilize that $250 in bonus bets. And that's a steal on its own, right? But that's not it. They're also going to offer you the NFL Premium for free for 1 month, a 1-month trial to where you get access to the NFL Network and the NFL Red Zone. So what a steal, man. All for $5. Like, can't go wrong there. So like I said, make sure you check in the description. There'll be a link there for that. And also in the pinned comment, I'm going to throw that link right up there at the top. So, guys, that is going to do it here for another episode. Hope we have a great day today. Hope everybody cashes. Best of luck to everyone. If you liked the video today, you enjoyed the content, please do not forget to smash the like button right down there below and hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping daily. That's going to do it, guys. Like I said, man, hope we have a great day on week 2, Sunday's action. Man, best of luck to everybody. I'll see you on the next video.